Well, tonight, growing calls from Republicans to send the U.S. military into Mexico to combat drug cartels. It's a sentiment that seems to be gaining steam as immigration, the border, and the opioid crisis become top talking points for GOP presidential hopefuls. The illegal smuggling of drugs by Mexican cartels is on the rise. The U.S. has seized 34% more fentanyl at the southern border this fiscal year than all of last year. NewsNation's Nancy Liu joins us now. So, Nancy, Republicans are trying to address a very real problem in a bit of a controversial way.
That's right, Kelly, but this idea does seem to be gaining momentum. Among the proponents, Republican Senators Lindsey Graham, J.D. Vance, a number of others, along with the top two GOP presidential candidates. But some believe that this would be a dangerous escalation of the drug war. In dramatic fashion, the Mexican military is highlighting its capture of a narco sub last week. It was leaving the coast of Mexico, loaded with 3.5 tons of what was suspected to be cocaine. The incident plays into the recent claims by former President Trump of the need for a U.S. naval blockade. GOP opponent Ron DeSantis also supports lethal force in repelling the cartel-fueled drug supply that has claimed thousands of American lives.
Look, we're going to use whatever leverage we have to ensure that this issue is brought to a conclusion.
For decades, the drug war has included covert U.S. operations inside Mexico to monitor cartel activity and multiple instances of military surges along the American side of the border. On Capitol Hill, a proposed Republican bill would formally declare war on the cartels. That would allow actions such as the bombing of targets inside Mexico. According to one cartel expert, it's warranted and would be effective.
From our side of the border, we would strategically target and attack the Mexican cartel in the same manner, similar manner that we go after the terrorists around the world, and that by using drones and sending missiles and blowing them up and killing them.
And there's evidence that illegal underwater entries may be on the rise. U.S. border agents working the Yuma sector recently apprehended a Mexican national trying to scuba dive across the Colorado River. A source tells NewsNation's Allie Bradley that the migrant was with another man and neither of them knew how to swim. Both were processed for return to Mexico. Supporters of U.S. military action south of the border believe it could stem the flow of both migrants and drugs.
This is something that definitely needs to happen. Nothing else has worked. Things are getting worse, so I think it's high time that we do something like this.
Now, Mexican President Obrador has pushed back on the idea of U.S. military operations in Mexico, and some claim that any action without cooperation could be considered an act of war. But supporters argue that it would be a war against the cartels and not Mexico. Kelly?
All right, Nancy Liu, thank you for that update.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.